Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the FN Story. This is actually a special one where we're having more than one person on for the first time. So thank you guys for helping break some history here on the FN Story. I'm
Yes, sir.
joined alongside the ownership and management of 2AM Esports. They are an esports organization that works in multiple esports, but Fortnite's probably what we'll talk about most here. We got Jeff and Quick. How's it going, Jeff?
Well, man, I'm the CEO and founder of 2AM Esports, and we started about 6 months ago.
Quick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I am the acting COO for the 2AM Esports organization. Yeah, pretty much what I do. COO.
All right, cool. So, can you guys tell me like what does that all entail? Because I've been behind the scenes a little bit in an esports organization, but I think a lot of times people just look at that and it's like, okay, what does this person actually do? So, you guys mind telling us like what does a day, a week, a month look like, or even the past 6 months since you just started? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
So how it honestly like varies during days. So like we could have videos planned with like some of our creators and our professional players, or we could have what we recently did was we started up a scrim server. So the days honestly vary. It like depends, right? So I can have them either doing their own thing, which is competing, or having them play in our 2 a.m. scrims. Basically building their presence as well. Um, that's I'm sure that Morgan can touch more topic on that.
Yeah, pretty much. So what we've been doing is running a scrim server literally within the first day of us opening the actual scrim server that one of our players actually created. Shout out Verona. With that being said, we hit 445 people in the server upon opening in the same day. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, it allows players to go in there, work together, and like level up through. I think our tier rating is actually S, A, B, C, D, E, F. So we have a rating system along with the level up kind of situation that players are able to engage in. I believe that we just took over pretty much West Open, so that's pretty crazy for us to only do that in 6 months. We have an upcoming call with some other companies and businesses such as Rogue Energy, Champion. That's a big one. They were previously working with 33. I don't know if you've heard about them before, but we kind of
Yeah.
like took their spot. We're number one within the West Coast and North American region, so things are getting real crazy for us in terms of partnerships and actual brand deals and players on the team.
All right, that's cool to hear. I mean, 6 months is not a long time. I mean, you could be doing this for years before you even get some people to sign on and see that there's something behind whatever you guys are doing. So, congratulations. I hope those go well. As far as what esports you guys are in, I watched like a montage or two on the YouTube. Looks like Apex, Valorant, and Fortnite. Is there anything else I was missing?
Currently, yeah, we're maintained in Valorant and Fortnite specifically, but well, eventually like we could hop into like the competitive like Halo scene because it's like really easy to get into and fairly other games as well. So hopefully along down the line, right? Because we're dominating Fortnite right now, and we want to expand into other regions as well.
Okay, cool. And so let's before we talk about Fortnite, because I can talk about Fortnite forever.
Yeah.
That's like my staple. I'd love. So, did you guys sign a Valorant roster? Do you have like creators, and then same thing for Apex? Like, what does that all look like? Because the Fortnite I can understand. I know where to look. I see your players. That's simple for me. But on the other side, like, what are you guys doing with those other games?
So honestly, as far as like Valorant, we only have like a 5 stack and then a one lead, and they're like all high ranked, Immortal and Radiant. And we just have like one 5 stack, and they just represent us and stream on their own. We don't really like touch the game much. As far as like going in and doing more of like that competitive side of things, but we do just have like a 5 stack. So
Yeah.
there's like players that represent us in the game.
Okay. And then how about for Apex?
Apex,
Same thing.
yeah, same kind of thing. Just like more of like a content creator side of things for that. We have like one streamer that just primarily hops on Apex on our Twitch team.
Okay. So you guys are just like dabbling in there for a little bit, seeing how the water feels. Okay, cool, cool.
Most definitely.
Now, why first of all, who started the organization? Was it you two and then we had a third, and how did all this happen? Like why why do you decide to start an esports organization?
Yeah, no, so I'm super passionate about esports, man, and I've been a part of multiple teams as like player and a content creator. I was a part of Extra Gaming previously, and I was a part of Team 33. I just didn't like how, things were ran, man. I'm not more of like a collect the check and, move forward type of guy. Like I feel like there's way more to, the industry. I have such a passion for it, so that's why I decided to, start 2AM Esports. And I'm same with the buddy Garrett. He's not here right now, but he's also the other CEO,
Yeah.
the acting CFO, and we flew out to Vegas together after we met on Omegle. This it's kind of crazy, man. But and then we talked about the team, and then months down the line, we signed our first four.
Hell yeah. All right. Who got a lot there. So one, let's start with, you said you wanted to do things differently. You didn't like how things were ran in the past. Like, what does that look like? Because I've heard great things about certain orgs and I've heard terrible things about others. But what to you makes a good organization? Like, what are you trying to create?
So I don't want to be the face of the organization. So another thing is like I feel like a lot of these teams that I've been a part of, there's like the face of the team should be the players, you know what I'm saying? Not the CEO, not the people behind the scenes. So I like to make it primarily based on our players because I want to I want to make them feel like they're involved and they're the team. That's what makes the organization I feel like is the players, the designers, editors. So, I feel like I don't know, man. Just the way that things were ran before, I didn't like some, the last. So the first organization that I was signed to and I was a part of, the main CEO was trying to be like the face of the company for signing all these players and things of that nature, and I don't think that's what it's about, man.
Okay. I mean, I think there's probably competing business models on that, where you
Yes.
see like a TSM doesn't necessarily have like a big front. I guess Double Lift now is technically part of ownership, so that's probably not the best
Yeah.
example. But there's orgs that do that, and then there's other ones. A G2, again, I'm gonna give a terrible example, had a very big front facing owner, and that got him in trouble, right? So doing all that kind of front facing work can be a good thing, especially if you're doing things right. You're being an influencer in yourself to help the organization do things to boost the brand and the awareness of it. But at the same time, I mean, there's also been some downsides to that. I think Carlos at G2 is a perfect example of, he kind of got stuck between doing what he wanted to do and being the CEO and face of an organization. So that balance needs to be played carefully, and it's interesting
Right.
to see that you're like, nah, I don't even want to play that
Yeah,
balance.
definitely.
Like, I'll do the work, I'll let the players be on the front half, and the rest of that
Yes.
is what it is. Interesting. Okay.
Uh,
So as far as like, who were your first four players? You said you signed four. Was it all Fortnite at first? Like,
Yeah.
how did this all
So
come to be?
yes. So me and my buddy Garrett, we were looking to launch our organization, and we wanted to pick up four players. So we were like looking at like the top 100 players on NA West, and we wanted like one content creator that produces as well, and that's a pro. So we picked up Trey 509. He was like the number one collegiate athlete at the time, and he's like top 70 NA West. And he just got out of his contract with an organization that he was a part of, so it was like a snag to get him right for our launch. So he was a really big pickup for us at the time. Sadly, like he's no longer with us, but we had him. We picked up an underrated player named Kika. He's top 100. He made his first grands with us. Um, and then we picked up we picked up Baca, another player that got second in FNC's Grand Invitationals or grands whatever. And and then we picked up just a random, just like we picked up a random top 300 player. He's still part of the org and he's placing consistently. So um, that was our first four. So it was like just top 100 NAW players pretty much, man.
Okay. So it makes sense. I mean, you guys were telling me you all live West Coast, so West is where you are, so it only makes sense to focus more on that. But does it scare you guys at all when things like the West broadcast being taken off, or like the numbers seem to be dwindling as far as total viewership? Like, is that a scary piece to the investment that you guys are making within the game?
No, so it definitely is. Man, we talk about this all the time. So I do pray that they bring like, a broadcasting back for the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's got to be a lot like light shined upon like some of these talent. You know what I'm saying? Because like we got like Epic Well that just won that tournament a few months back, right? And showing that like West is still like, we're here still, right? So yes, I'm very concerned, but I feel like it also is like a power move for us, right? There's like not a lot of competition on the West Coast at the moment. A lot of free agent teams, a lot of teams defunding, things of that nature. So it kind of worked out in our favor, and it has its ups and downs, man.
Makes sense. I mean, it is definitely got to be scary when you're not getting that same spotlight. And if you started about 6 months ago, that was when there was the first in-person broadcast, and then shortly after, it's like, yeah, nah, West isn't part of this. Now, there is a big event coming up where I believe you guys have Pars attending the Invitational. So
Yes, sir.
that'll be huge to get him. I think him and Ray's, depending on the situation, I don't want to say like they
Yeah,
don't have a
no.
chance, but it's also a very uphill battle for what they're trying to do against the level of competition. Now, have you guys created a game plan? Like, are any of you guys going to the Invitational? What are the thoughts leading into this big event?
Yeah. So no, I think it's super exciting, man. So when all that invitational stuff got announced, we knew instantly like we needed to pick up a player, right? Because we were trying to get put on the map. So we picked up Pars, 2 months ago, right before like the invitationals, and we were gonna get some other players on the West Coast, but we wanted definitely someone on the West to represent us. But there wasn't like really much left, man. Like everyone was getting signed for the invitationals, so he came up, and then we picked him up. I've talked to him. I'm not gonna leak his drop spot. Like it may or may not be where he says he's landing. So that's all I know as far as like the information on that. So I've actually talked to him recently, but super nice kid, man. We have a no builds pro player as well that went to Twitch Rivals. That's gonna be in the North Carolina. Same with the other CEO Garrett. He's gonna be out there. So they're gonna take the players out to dinner. You get them all right, and yeah, man, vlog it, make some content out of it. So he's definitely gonna be excited to go down there, man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
with that said as well, I think Garrett, the other CEO, he's going to be doing an interview with Life of Panda, I believe, if correct.
Oh,
So hopefully that goes well and everything on our end with Pars goes well as well. We're going to be having them have some liquid death there as well. So they just sent them some packages. We're not sponsored. It was just kind of like a gifting experience. So kind of bigger on their end, but see where it goes.
yeah, it's cool. I'm boys with Panda. He lives not too far away from me, so I'll see how that goes. I'm interested to see. Panda's always trying to do some big things. I know he loves supporting the West region, and kind of feels like that's his home within Fortnite. So it's cool to hear that Garrett and him are linking up, and I'll try and find him, say hello at some point next weekend, see what's up. All right, I like that you said he may or may not be landing there. I know that there are some pieces that are left in the air, and we see the drop maps and things like that for Fortnite. And a lot of times, because I like to make content on this, people are always like, oh, who's landing where? It's like, bro, people tell you where they're landing, but only the idiots, if they're going to contest someone, are going to tell you before they're contesting someone, unless like it's a Condo Canyon where you have three of the best
Yeah,
teams in Europe where they're all trying to stake a claim there. But when you're just trying to find a piece, like, don't tell someone before game one,
definitely.
ruin your advantage. And I think there'll be a lot of teams like that. And I think the drop map is going to skew places to weird spots to where like a lot of players are going spots that you didn't expect them to. And game one's going to be a crazy game, and I'm looking forward to it. This is the biggest thing we've seen in Fortnite for a while, so it's huge for
Yes,
you guys to be able to have a
definitely.
player, and it's huge for the game just in general to be able to put on something like this. So fingers
Finally, like
crossed.
an in-person event, man. Like especially for Fortnite, and I feel like what is it like 2 or 3 years now, man.
3.
So it's gonna be huge, man. I feel like the viewership is gonna like. I honestly like my hope and what I believe is I feel like the game will get put on the map even more after this, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic that whatever announcement they throw at what I think they said the end of the invitational, they're gonna say like some big announcement. I'm scared, one, that they're gonna be like, yeah, next year is all trios, and that's all the announcement's gonna be. I'm like, damn it, give me something, right? Tell
Right.
me what's going on. But at the same time, I feel like we're gonna get the next LAN announcement. Just be like, hey,
That's
this
yes.
this
So the
one,
other CEO Garrett like has this predicament that it's gonna be they're gonna announce the next World Cup. So
okay.
maybe that would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? That'd
Yeah.
be huge.
I don't know that we're ever gonna get a World Cup
Yeah.
again. I think we'll get events like similarly staked, but I feel like I don't know. If they were gonna do the World Cup again, they would have done it by now. I feel like
Yeah.
we're
No.
in a
No. No.
different
Most
spot.
definitely.
I also hope it's in Europe too, because that's the like
Oh.
biggest region, and I feel like we haven't had
Yeah.
any kind of event there to celebrate how big of a supporting base Fortnite is in Europe. I know you
No, it's
guys.
huge. Yeah. No. No. It's definitely huge out there, man. No, seriously. Like the competition out there is incredible as well. So they should definitely have like something out there, like a dream hack too as well. Something different, man.
Yeah. Oh, they do the dream hacks, but they're different.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
The
guys
prize pool isn't as big, and it's
do,
just like different for players.
do you guys plan on bringing anybody out to either Atlanta or Sweden? Is that part of the game plan?
Yeah, so we have two players. We have Statix and Kenzo that are going out to DreamHack Atlanta. So they're going to be competing under 2AM, and they're both really, really talented individuals. I believe that one of them's sixth NAW, and the other one's top 70, top 50, around that area. So it should be some good talent. So at least we have two players going out there representing us as well.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's coming up quick too. That's the weekend after the invitational, so
Yes,
we're
sir.
flying right into that. As far as a like supporting base for your players, what do you guys all provide to a potential free agent that now signs with you? Is there that background support for them as far as like any kind of coaching or even on the YouTube social media management side? Is there any support you
Definitely.
guys provide?
Yeah, so it just really depends on like each player. I get different type of messages a day. Like some we did have an editor for our organization, but some of the players don't like the style, so we'll like commission editors for players that need certain work done. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't like our certain graphic design team, so they want something different. So we'll handle that. They need a new controller, we will provide that. So we pretty much take care of them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the background is well here over at 2AM, man. As far as coaching, we did have a coach, a part of 2AM, but again, the players don't like being like having certain type of they like what they like, so we got to provide whatever it is for them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I,
It's a nice way of saying some people
yeah,
don't like working with coaches.
exactly.
Um,
I don't like being told what to do. Yeah, pretty much, man.
it's wild, bro. I've unfortunately ran into too many players that are just like, yeah, I'm better than this coach. I don't need to deal with them. And it's like, bro,
Yeah, no,
come
100%.
on, man. We're trying
Yeah,
to help you. Like, you're just like, nah, my ego's too big. I'm 15 years old. I'm the best player in the
yeah,
world. I
no,
respect it.
100%.
They got to have that mindset to a certain extent, but this, like,
You gotta take criticism sometimes too, man.
yeah.
But like you like you were saying, some of these kids are like 14, 15, and their ego gets to their head, man. I totally agree.
Hey, if you gave me like 10 grand as a 14, 15-year old, I'm sure I'd be an idiot. So I
No,
can only
100%.
imagine what these kids
No,
are doing. And a lot of them are getting it right. Like there's a lot of players that started real young back in the day and now are like 18, 19, finally coming into their own as like
yeah,
an adult and figuring things out. I mean, Queasy's a good example of someone who's created something just from being an amazing video game player, and now he's feeling comfortable with who he is and is still really freaking good at the game. So
definitely.
that's
Yeah,
what I like to see.
no, 100%. I I think it too, like some of these like individuals, like make money from like this game, man. They don't realize, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't realize how good they got it until it's gone. If that makes sense, man.
Oh yeah.
Because this is like a dream for many people, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people. So I was talking to someone the other day about how most people haven't really worked a regular job, so they don't appreciate like what this is, and they also don't necessarily understand the professionalism that should come with certain careers. And I can get it for a lot of younger people, right? I can understand. Okay, if you're below 18 years old, there's probably not that experience that's come. And at the same time, people like you guys, you're kind of the mentors to help those people along. Is that something that you've thought of, hey, I have this young kid, I need to teach them how to do things right? And then also, like, how do you guys think about, like, what is the right thing to kind of instill in these young people?
No, so definitely, man. It just depends. Like I said, like I have a deep connection with most of my players, man. So advice is given, for like real life situations as far as like jobs, opportunities, and like a lot of them are humble, man. So like one individual, Batman Booga, like so I love that kid, man. But he knows like he's very smart with like as far as like financial wise, what he's doing and how he's doing it, and he's only like 15, so. I definitely respect the way that like some of the players are, with how they're handling some of the situation with this interesting career path that have gotten. But as far as like giving them advice and teaching them the right like path, it's only like a select few, man. Some don't want to hear it, some do. Some just want to just play the game and just do their own thing. So it happens, man. But more or less, the bigger ones are more or less the smarter ones.
Okay. How do you
I think
balance? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think I gotta say with Batman Booga as well, everything's great with that. He's like one of the members that we don't really have to mold, but he's extremely loyal. He's always working, able to do actual content for us, and willing to do it. Another person I gotta include is Acid. So that's our academy lead member. So he's around 15 years old. He's probably been working with us the closest because he's always on so often. We really just try to instill loyalty and like strength for him. So maybe we got to take some more time to actually sit down with him and go over some of the smaller details that he's got to do, like telling players to do this or do that to reach the best people or anything like that. But that's all I got to say necessarily. We just try to make sure that all of the players that we're working with have at some point of loyalty that they know that they earned by working with us because we do love the players.
That's cool, guys. And I'll challenge you to try and do as much as you can for these people, not just as like a monetary perspective, but also understand these are young kids in a very formative piece of their life. And I know some of the morals, ethics, and just like work ethic was instilled in me at that age working those jobs. And this is a different kind of job. I was working manual labor. They don't necessarily have to do that, but there's also other things that they can learn. So, I'm just going to throw a challenge out to you guys. Try and help make better human beings rather than just a better team. And I think it will make your team better at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. 100%. I totally agree with that, man.
All right. Now, let's go into maybe a not so fun topic, but how the hell do you guys fund in Oregon? Why do you throw money at this thing?
Dude, nah, you're telling me, man. Nah, we believe in it, man. You know what I'm saying? We're super passionate about it. So it's Garrett, Morgan, and myself and totally. So we have a ghost investor, and then it's just us that we all put up together. And Garrett works like a 9 to 5, and this man does manual labor as well. You know what I'm saying? And he puts all of his time and extra time that he has in money into the company that we are running currently. And we believe in it, man, and it's finally starting to pay off because we reach out to brands and companies, and after 6 months we have offers of people trying to like buy the business and things in that nature, and seeing that our competition is getting eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes it a little bit easier for us to like want to keep going. That makes sense. So Yeah, man. So the throwing money part, it is hard, man. Like I know, like right when I get like a paycheck or something, like I'm excited and like let's say I'm investing in a player and they're I love my players. Let's say a player's not performing or doing any content and slacking off, and I'm required to still finance it. The player, I get a little upset sometimes, but I got to do what I got to do for this business, man. And I'm trying my best, and so is um Garrett and all of us, man. So that's why we throw money at the organization. I think that we can do 10. Like I want to just obviously get out of Fortnite eventually, but I do want to get a house for our players, man, and I want to make this like bigger than ever, dude.
Okay, nice. I can respect that, and
Yeah.
it's not always easy. I feel like me personally, I look at the org space, and it's never something I would want to fund myself. I do like certain aspects of working in it. Sorry, my dog's barking. Um, she didn't like your answer. But it is a very interesting piece, and you touched on one thing of like when a player isn't performing or doing the content. What do you do about that? Because we've heard varying different pieces of some owners stood up. Who was that? I forget the guy's name. But he was like, if you don't fill your contractual obligations, I'm not paying you. And I know other owners that have basically been like, had conversations of, you signed this contract, you didn't do your work, I'm cutting a percentage off. And then there's other ones that it doesn't freaking matter what you do. You could, go piss everyone off and never play the game and still ask for a paycheck at the end of the
So
day and get it.
yeah, so touching on that, man. So you know how we're like still fairly fresh. So when we signed, I'm not gonna say any names, but we did sign like one of the biggest creative players in the game, man. So super huge player, has a huge audience and was doing really well for us. And we have certain points in this contract, streaming hours, consistency, as far as like it was like a couple videos a month. The first month was amazing. We had a great time with him. He signed for a few months. The second month, nothing. No streams. Maybe one stream that whole month. Maybe 1 to 2 streams that whole month. No content posted on YouTube, and it's required. Third month, absolutely nothing. I got nothing from him the third month. All I got was like playing in like the NRG tournament representing 2AM, and that was it, man. So I didn't want to have to pay it out obviously because it's like a good sum of money, but we had to, man, because we don't want like the reputation of like, oh, 2am didn't do this, don't mess with this new fresh org. So we did have to bite the bullet on that one, but you know what I'm saying, it happens. So but now it's different for us. So we have the reputation of paying players out. We have different talents. We've had the college athletes to some of the tier 1 players on our org to content creators that are partnered, and it's working out in our favor now. So it's just like if you're not fulfilling your contract, you can get half of the sum. We work with them individually, but more or less we usually just pay out the players, move forward, don't re-sign them the next month.
Damn, that sucks.
Dude, it does, man. It's
Like
rough, bro.
straight up, you guys just like, it's essentially just seen as like a business expense that you have to eat when looking at it from that perspective. Jeez, someone is getting barked at right now, but um I can't imagine doing that. Like, it, for me, that would hurt so bad, but I also get where you guys are coming from of like, you have to do it, otherwise people are gonna, in this world of social media, which is essentially where your organization exists, if one bad thing gets said, and even if it's bullshit, people are gonna start repeating that, and then it turns into a whole
100%.
thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, man, and it does, dude. We try to. So right now we're West Coast, right? So we have like we like there's no Fortnite tracker like team updates. They haven't updated it in a while. There's like teams on there and players that I have that are like on different organizations. So they haven't really updated that. But if we were to be like, we'd be ranked at number 1 right now with combined PR of our top 4 players. So technically we're number 1 in West right now with the talent that we have. Since we signed Kenzo in Higgs. So we tried to go to another region and we wanted to go to OCE, and it was a nightmare, man. Like the experience that we had over there was was hopefully we can get a better experience when we go over to that region. But if you ever want to touch into that, I can explain more.
Yeah, go
Because that's
for
not,
it. What do
yeah.
you?
So what we did was, we first started, we picked up our first four. We wanted to pick up people in other regions. We like got like the pricing scale of like, other regions, and then so we went to OCE. I signed one player. He still represents us. He's been on our team for like 4 months. Super talented individual, 100K PR player. No issues with them ever. But we wanted to find a manager out there. So we went to one of the biggest rival teams in, OCE, and we picked up their quote unquote manager. We and yeah, so he scoped us out some talent for, grand finals for the OCE region, and he's picking up like a bunch of players and telling guaranteeing them all this stuff, and we never. So we didn't like he had to bring us the talent, and we'd have to agree on it, right? He was
Mhm.
just doing it behind our backs, picking them up, and then like it was just crazy, man. We got this player on. He wanted to join for free actually at the time, so we had this whole agreement with him, representing us for free. We got him exposure, thumbnails, things like that. No pay. He didn't even ask for it, right? Um, and then we were like, oh no, man, like we want to give you something, like we want to do something else for you. And then we decided we're like, all right, this manager's causing us a lot of issues. So we dropped the manager and we dropped the player, and then that whole entire region came after us, man. Like it was crazy. So we had like the whole entire OCE region hating on us for the longest time. Um, but yeah, man, now we're back up there. We got respect back because JFT was like an organization out there, and they had Batman Booga and Pars. So now we have both those talents, and people see that like we're legitimate. So, but it was a rough patch over there in OCE, and hopefully we could touch that region again. But I'm gonna stick with the two players that we have over there now, and I probably won't move forward with that for a minute.
Interesting. So basically had a
Yeah.
rogue manager that felt like he could do whatever he wanted and then turned on you guys.
Yeah, no, it was actually crazy, man. It was a long process and a long experience because we were still fresh, you know what I'm saying? So, he said, she said type thing, but now we're more reputable and it's understanding. So, thank God.
Knock on wood doesn't happen again, and
Yes.
hopefully the next experience goes a little better for you. Um, Now, talking about signing players and expanding, we just had Team 33 pretty much implode or just disappear, I guess would be a better way of saying what happened to it. Like, nothing actually happened, but all the players just decided, I'm hearing
Yeah.
nothing, I'm leaving. Does that change the org landscape? Because they were funding like 30, 25
Yeah.
players, and from what I've heard, it was some pretty good salaries, which
Oh
probably
man,
inflated everything.
it
So
did.
do you see things starting to come back down now that there's not, I don't know, 30 players signed and people trying to
Yeah.
get signed to
No.
organizations?
So yeah, so they were definitely blowing everyone out of water. You know what I'm saying? They had like so many people on overpriced payroll. I was actually a part of the organization. I was actually locked in for a year. But I decided to be released due to, some issues, and like everything happens for a reason, man. And I'm not gonna touch too much on as far as like my experience with them, but I asked to be released, and it was for a good reason. So, now everything fell through with that organization. So many people on payroll. I don't believe that was an organization. I feel like the way that company was represented was just like goodie bags for money consistently. Like the group chats were like, "Yo, who wants a glitch today?" And "Yo, let me get this money." It was just a nightmare, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what a team's about. Like to be completely honest with you, there's more to than a bunch of money. So I'm so glad the competition has gone so much better for us. Yes, because all these players are free agents. They're asking for a ridiculous amount. You know what I'm saying? Because of like their contracts. And the value for that is, ridiculous, and they're just now coming to sense of like, obviously we're not going to get that right now. There's no competition right now. The market's, going down, but it opened the door for us. We're about to work with Champion and get our first partnership with them. We were working with Rogue Energy. We were working with Goran Bros. Everything's been coming to light recently as far as like endorsement deals and things after 33 collapse. So I'm very blessed. So yes.
That makes sense. I've personally seen several waves. You get like some big team coming in, they have to spend a ton of money. When Falcon first came in, like I was hearing some ridiculous numbers for EU salaries based on what I knew, and
Yeah.
then it's kind of come back down, but like they're still there, and there's a lot of money in this space, and people throw it around like it's nothing, but at the same time it's really hard to get returns. So I can understand where you guys are coming from, and it's got to be a relief now to have probably in North America the biggest money throwing org just out. And now it seems like we're at a point where most of the organizations within Fortnite are only doing this because they want to stay here. And if something goes wrong, it's probably because like there's genuine problems, not just I never actually planned to make this real. Which we had plenty of in the past, where it's like, why the hell did you even pretend to start an esports? Or we won't get into that, but
Yeah.
there's been plenty of those, and it seems like now we've settled in a little bit. But I'm glad to hear, because the salaries that I was hearing from some players, I mean, even just throwing those out there for doing nothing was
Yeah.
incredible.
No, there were, man. I'm not gonna lie. The number I was getting was something I've never seen before, as far as like an esports contract. So yes, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, yeah, it was crazy, man. We were supposed to move into like some content house with like that whole 33 team, and it fell through. Didn't like how it was ran, and now we're here, man.
Hey, I'm glad you made it through, and we're able to help create something with your boys on the way there, and help support the system that has now been let down due to a lot of people um, just without really even being told anything, no longer have a job. So that's the way I think about it. It's fucked. You just straight up
No,
just don't
true.
say anything, and then people are out of a job, and everyone's looking around. Like Mitty was on here a while ago, and he's like, dude, I mean, I never had a bad experience, but at the end, it's like, just tell me it's over. Like, I have no idea what's going on right now. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, enough of
Yeah,
that. You guys aren't Team 33. I don't want to keep talking, badgering you guys about somebody you aren't. I would like to learn about what are the game plans for the future. Like, what do you guys want to accomplish? Let's talk about the next few months, the next year. Where do you see this all heading?
yeah, Morgan, if you want to touch on like what we got planned for the
Yeah.
next 6 months, man.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll go ahead and do that. First, I want to wrap around back to the regions and whatnot. So we just picked up Andy V down in Latin America. So we probably have one of the largest streamers in the Latin American Fortnite community. With that said, as well, we also have an all-girl team Fortnite. Well, all-girls Fortnite team. They're probably the top players. A lot of them are from Latin America as well. But they're doing some crazy things. One of them literally just got like 468 likes on one of their per posts in just an hour. So we got some bigger players in Latin America region, hoping to make some more content and see more coming out of there. With that said, as well, we got the call with Champion coming up next week here on Monday. After that, hopefully, we're going to be having some merch designed with Champion and put in stores. Rogue Energy actually just released all of their canned goods, so it's one of the largest turning points in that company's history, I'm thinking. So we're going to be able to work with a brand that has visible cans, no longer just like a pre-workout. So it's kind of like Nas, how they have their cans and everything like that. People are going to be able to get them off shelves on the website and stores, everything like that. Partnered with Gorham Bros, so I'm supposed to be hopping on a call with my connect over there. Her name is Nikki. Since it is fourth quarter, we're going to be seeing like a little bit of a shift in the tide. So we're going to be seeing if we can get something set up with them. In terms of 6 months, like Jeff said, we're looking at getting a compound. So I say it's a compound because it might be a warehouse / office space where we can actually get all the merch sent out from, and also set up internal LAN events and whatnot. So we can have players come by, sit down, all play on the computers that we have set up. Me and I've reached out to Razer previously, along with Logitech and SteelSeries. So once they get back to me, or once we're able to see something from them, we could probably move a little bit more forward, since we'll be having that additional support. Other than that, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jeff kind of knows what we're going to be doing. We just dropped a couple players, so we picked up a couple players, and we're number one now on the West Coast. So that's all I can say is we're looking to go forward, make internal content, whether it just be on our Scrim server or in person.
Yes, no, definitely. Yeah. So we want to get a warehouse, man. So the goal is to get like a warehouse. I don't know if like how to like lay it out, but the stairs, there's like a big stairs that goes upstairs and like there's a big flooring. We're looking at like a 2,000 square foot, compound, and we want to like really utilize it because we haven't really seen something like that like from like an upcoming team trying to make it. So we're trying like the best that we can. So if we can get something like along the lines of like, content there, green screens or computers, like players can come lounge because a lot of our players are based out here in, Los Angeles as well. So it's super easy to get them all together, shoots. And I feel like people like hand in hand, with the players like all together and like in person content. And I feel like it'll just take off even more, man. So that's that. And as far as like a house, we could have did a house when we a couple months ago. Instead we obviously we're putting our investment back into players, but we could have did a house in Vegas, got a like a little crib with like a pool and like a normal sized home for a year and have like players move in for free and represent us then and make content around them. But um, we really wanted to dominate a game before we got into like more of like the content side of things, and we do have content creators that are representing us as well, but we wanted hand in hand to be, a competitive organization at first before we got more into, hand in hand IRL content. So that's our future. And it's gonna happen. I'm excited for it, and we're really looking forward to it. Every time we go to Islands, the restaurant as well, they hook up the team. We get we get free eats. And yeah, man. So we were gonna work with a crypto company as well. They're really interested in working with us. It was more of less like a trial run, and they want to lock something in long term. But it's like the same thing with like TSM. We ain't on that level yet. Obviously, not nowhere near it. But if we lock in a deal with a company like them now, like let's say we're bigger, 6 months to a year from now, and our values increased, like we don't want to be stuck in any long like a long-term contract when our value's higher than that. So that's where we're looking as far as like the future, maybe dominating in other games as well, If there's ever a dream hack for, Valorant or, Apex, grabbing like a little 5 stack or, a couple players representing us as well, like in any other games would be incredible. But as far as now, like, you know, that's where we're looking as far as the future, man. We have that champion coming up, and we're looking forward to it. And I'm super excited with for the future of 2AM, man.
That's really cool. You guys got a lot going on, more than I actually expected when I asked the question. So I would be excited to see some sort of, let's call it a gaming warehouse, right? That sounds exactly like what it is, and
Yeah,
hopefully it works out for you guys because
thank you.
there hasn't really been anybody besides like who's that, 100 Thieves. They've done that. Team Liquid as their own facility, but there's a lot of different opportunities, and I feel like one of the problems with Fortnite is everyone's kind of done the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and we're all getting tired of that shit. And it's like, okay,
Yeah,
how many times can I post Fortnite competitive endgame highlights in a montage before no one gives a shit anymore? And I think we're at the no one gives a shit anymore phase,
exactly.
where now you're seeing like a team like Become Legends is massively distancing themselves from everybody else because they're not only bringing their own players to certain events, they're bringing the best talent around them and then creating content around them and really making these players people that other people can root for. So
Exactly.
I hope
The
that's,
hands-on.
yeah, I hope that's what you guys are going for because we got nothing like that in North America. That would be really
Exactly.
cool to see. And sounds like you got a lot of other things going on with sponsorships and stuff. Quick, is that like your expertise? Are you the guy grinding, getting told no a bunch of times, trying to make things
Yeah,
happen?
yeah. Low key, I am that guy. I think I've sent about maybe 500 or more emails, definitely, or more emails. Uh, One thing that you did say is that how people were separating themselves. I forgot who you mentioned, but we actually have a connect with this other group. I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but we're actually looking to play with some of the largest influencers in like the TikTok and gaming scenes right now. So we're the number one on the West Coast in Fortnite. All of these influencers and whatnot play Fortnite, and we have access to all of them. Like I said, I'm not going to name any names about the organization, but we're capable of reaching out to those individuals and actually growing our own platforms along with theirs, especially within the gaming and influencer communities, since they are a little different, but kind of the same, like kind of the same basis. So that's one of the big things. I'll wrap back over to the emails. That I do emails for multiple organizations. I've been doing brand deals pretty much my whole life since I was in college. That's like 2 or 3 years ago. So with that being said as well, I've worked with Bang, I've worked with Boohoo Man Official, I've worked with Fashion Nova, I've worked with Liquid Death, I've worked with Manscaped, I've worked with a bunch of organizations within the actual influencer scene. So right now, I'm just trying to reach out to those current contacts that I have and see if we can get something set up for this esports team. Like I said, I've reached out to many people, and I'm just not hearing the responses that I necessarily want to hear, or they're not currently doing something in terms of partnerships. Since it is fourth quarter, a lot of these companies aren't wanting to reallocate assets such as money or product to teams. So kind of the bigger things that I hope to change here in the coming future. So coming January, uh, maybe even December, I'd like to see a lot of companies open up sponsorships. Uh, that's what I pretty much got to say.
Yeah, I hope it works out for you. I worked in sales for 5 years before I started doing this, so I know it sucks. And there's just no good way to do it without just like pumping out emails, phone calls, all that stuff. And 99%, well, I guess back in my day, it was like 92% of people would not respond. And then you have to deal with that 8% and then take 1% or 10% of that 8%. So you do the math there. It's a lot of reach outs before you even get a single yes. So good luck, man. I don't envy you. That's not a fun job, but hey, if you could do it, good luck.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it all pretty much in terms of marketing. I've done business to business for insurance. I've done door to door for solar and pest control, and now I'm doing email to email pretty much. So that's how it goes.
Nice.
Thousands.
We got the phone book, the white pages.
Hey, you laugh, but that would be easier than how it works now because there's just so much going on. It makes it so difficult to find there's 30 people with this same title at this one company. Who the hell do I send an email to? Fuck it, I'll just email everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a different piece of that. I'm glad you were happy to share and willing. So good luck, and I think this is a good place to stop. Sounds like you guys got a lot going on. I'm happy that you guys felt comfortable jumping on, sharing everything that goes on, and talking about your organization. I'm really happy to hear you got some big things coming up in the near future. And if you guys ever want to fly me out, I'm down to come out to the gaming warehouse.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you again for having us, man. We really do appreciate it, man. Thanks again, man. This has been an incredible experience.
Hey, anytime. Thank you guys for hopping on. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you think is kind of important for the organization or even just yourselves?
I mean, if you guys want to try joining 2AM Academy or the actual main team, go ahead and reach out. Shoot us DMs. We're not shy. We'll reach back out to you. We're very open and responsive to people that reach out and actually want to speak with us. I believe the Academy has 32 or maybe 68 members. So we're always looking for people. If you want to join, you can join. I know there's some of you out there that are literally pretending to be in 2AM because you go at every single lobby and you're going to see probably a fake 2AM member. So if you guys want to reach out, go ahead and we'll respond back. If you guys are interested in the Valorant scene, go ahead and reach out. We're looking for players, obviously. That goes for Rocket League and many other games, especially Fortnite as well.
So where would be the best place for people to reach out to you?
So you can reach out to Jeff at Jeff the MVP _ on Twitter, or you can just mention our message at 2AM _ esports. You can also reach Garrett, our Subway, Coach Subway. His @ is at Coach Subway on Twitter. Or you can reach out to me as well. My name is at 2AM _ quick, or you can, that's pretty much it.
All right, cool.
Discord. I thought discord.gg/2am, man, is the easiest way.
Yeah.
Well, we were hands-on with the community, man. We hop in the lounges, and there's a bunch of kids that come through, and the fact that they're able to talk to us about our players, and some of the players come through and say hi to these kids is, they go crazy. So the best way, I feel like, the Discord, reaching out to, Acid as well. So
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you finally giving your shout, your saying message, but telling people where to find you. So
yes,
2
sir.
a.m. on Twitter, you said is the best, or discord.gg/2am esports, I believe was the other one.
It's just 2am, discord.gg/2am.
Boom. There you go. Thank you guys so much for coming
Of
on.
course. Thank you so much
Yes,
again,
sir.
man.
You're welcome. Thank you all at home for listening, watching, wherever you consume this. We appreciate you. If you ever have any complaints, comments, want to tell me I'm awesome, you can send me a DM at somebody's gun on Twitter. It's the best way to do it. But thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yes, sir. Have a great